Well, I pressed go live, so feel free to say it again. Oh, hey, by the way, we should probably like go start stage or whatever. If we here, I'll do
I,
it. Oh my gosh. Okay, well, hi stream. Well, I started stage, and now we wait for Kamui to realize that. But and we have Ducks and Roach. What's up, guys? How are we doing? It's Saddle stage, and we're waiting on Kamui. And hey, Mary, hey, Kamui.
well, I was trying to say that I was on the treadmill.
Well, why would you say that when I left early?
You answered, and I was like, okay, I guess I don't have a choice.
Well,
Anyway,
you had a choice. I just wasn't giving you one.
I just want to point out, as we were saying before stream, that it is so absolutely ridiculous how, so like, just for reference, I'm currently walking on this old loud-ass treadmill right now. Oodie hasn't said a word, doesn't, and we've already tested this before, does not appear as though stream is picking up this loud treadmill that I am walking on as I speak. No noise. Or when I go run up and down the stairs, if I have crisp on, you don't hear anything. If I don't, you hear everything. But when I'm upstairs and in the other room, this quiet-ass TV noise is heard. Oodie's always like, Kamui, do you have a party in the background or something going on here? Every time. It never fails. And I'm like, oh my God. How on earth can you not hear this treadmill, but you can hear the quiet background TV in another room? Now, my theory is obviously that Crisp is filtering out talking noise, which a TV show would have talking, versus random noise. It's probably smart enough to do that, which is why it's picking it up. But it's so annoying. I'm like, come on, bro. It's like, if it's, I mean, I'm glad it's not picking up the treadmill, but like, if it can do that, why does it have to pick up the TV?
So that is our running theory. I will say, I can hear the treadmill specifically whenever you're talking. It makes your audio quality worse. And it's like every like 1 in 3 seconds, it might do like the smallest like noise. But aside from that, it's practically unnoticeable entirely. But like the TV, it's to the point to where I think that it's either you talking or somebody right next to you talking to you.
Which makes no sense. It's not even loud.
Like, I'm like, wait, what? Like I stop because I think someone's trying to say something on the podcast. I'm like, what did you say? Wait, no, that was someone's background noise.
It's just so absurd.
Well, you know what else?
Speaking of absurd, I'm confused. So, mind you, oh, by the way, I think we need to just make 2 different intro topic things, one for serious, one for goofy. But
that's
you
hilarious.
have like 80 paragraphs of blacked out intro topics. What?
Well, Kamui, you remember last night when you asked me if we're doing anything and I was already asleep and woke up at like 5 a.m. because I was already asleep, thus I woke up early. And I told you that. So right after I told you that, I went to like write down not my dream, but like an idea that I had either while I was asleep or as I was falling asleep that retained into me waking back up. And that is the thing that I wrote directly above it, of which I want to save this topic for when probably Daigo comes on, but all of this black text box below, which by the way, these are 2 different messages because both of them hit the character limit on Discord, not for normal Discord, but for Nitro Discord, which is extra long. So it is 2 full-length Nitro messages down to like the like the upteenth of the character limit. This is like maxed out 99% of the way on both of these. So this is what I would do if I were to make a Naruto novel. And the idea just flew into me as I was typing it out. I wasn't having it going to be planned to be this long. I was going to have it be like 1 or 2 sentences, but then it turned into 3, which turned into 17, which turned into 86.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So you don't want to do it today, is what you're saying?
Well, we could do it today, but I'd rather do it with a guest just so that we could have like a third answer as well, not just mine and yours. But also, it just gives you more time to think of an answer anyways.
Okay.
Specifically more in detail.
But, yeah. So assuming you had to change data as explosions, what would you do?
Well, what I would do is I would change Datara's explosions into the shape of a birthday cake because it's Space's birthday, everyone. And I'm saying that before he even says anything in chat. I haven't clicked on chat. You can see the widened out chat text bubble thing on the stream, assuming I am sharing my screen. I am. Okay, yeah. So stream knows, and Space, you can double check to confirm. I haven't clicked on it to confirm that you said your birthday is today, but if you even have... Okay, he hasn't even done that anyways. So that's just blatant proof confirmation that I just remembered Space. And Kamui knew as well, because he said it before stream, and Space is saying, So I don't know why he's saying, but you're welcome for remembering and saying happy birthday, and... well, I mean... You're surprised. Okay, well, I mean, to be fair, Space, you did remind us several times. In fact, Space, I even went out of the way... Here, I'll let Space speak as well. I even went out of the way to invite Ace on as guest for tonight, but he's not available, at least as of right now. But he might join later. But I did that just for you, Space. So.
Yeah, and you know why, Space? It's because Ace rhymes with space. That's the only reason.
Space also rhymes with happy birthday, Earth Day.
Happy birthday.
I mean, it would rhyme with happy birthday if it did.
Well, I'll have you know that when I originally thought you were going to answer the data question, so I clicked the spoiler as you were saying it, and it was not what you said. But not only that, it's not even what I was expecting. So what I thought the question was asking would be something akin to Data just having a completely new arsenal. So either if you're keeping it art, as an example, it would be size jutsu would be his art. Or alternatively, it's not even about art anymore, and now he's got Kakuzu's ability. I thought that's what you were trying to ask. Not, how would you slightly change his explosions?
Where even is the data topic? Is it in rewrites?
No, it's an intro topic, so right below Space's birthday.
Right. That was the other thing.
That's why I thought you were saying it. It's right above it.
Okay. Yeah. Wait, where is it? It's somewhere.
Well, I'll say that it wasn't what I expected.
Oh, right there. Oh, what would you do? Okay, I see. Yeah, it's funny because... Okay. To be fair, Space, I did write this in intro topic so I wouldn't forget, but I forgot to look at it to remember. So I just did remember. But yeah, so assuming you had to change Data's explosions, what would you do? And then my answer, as Kamui's already seen. So I would have his C2 bomb be napalm, specifically anything fire related, maybe even like a fire style related jutsu, so to give him an elemental style, especially since he's countering Sasuke with his elemental style, and this is leading into the like 5 nature elemental style that we get in like basically the
well, yeah, but the problem is if he's using fire style and no earth style, Sasuke's entire hypothesis strategy thing that he does just goes out the window.
No, that's not what I'm saying. He can use earth style. I'm saying, if anything, this could be Deidara's counter to Sasuke using lightning style to get around his earth style. And then after he's
Well,
done with C2, he can go to C3, which is going to be something else or just something more in this
yeah.
case.
Well, again, you've got to rewrite the
Same
fight
thing.
because Sasuke is using the lightning style counter to C4 because of C2. So he's not going to use C2 after C4. It's a weird progression.
Obviously not. But I don't see why it would be a problem to just have him basing it based off of not C2 and literally any other explosion. I don't see the problem there.
It was a progressive analysis. Like, it wasn't just like an instant, oh, it's Earth style of the first shot.
I see no problems here. I think you're making it into a way bigger deal than it needs to be. But either way, regardless, it's showing he is using different nature. I don't care even about the nature element. The point is that it's a freaking napalm. It's fire. It's an explosion type that wasn't really used in the series, and it makes Deidara more of the explosive character of variety and terroristy as well. So napalm, it would have been cool.
I'll give you terroristy. Although landmines also works as well, but I think napalm feels more terroristy than landmines. I'll give you that.
Okay, then I also write down, so C0, we're just going to rewrite it to where it is the same thing, but instead of C0, it's called C5, which is obviously going to be C4 plus 1. In this case, the new C0, so C4 just stays the exact same way. C0, we're changing it to where rather than an explosion, it's an implosion, which is cool because 0.
So real quick,
yeah,
I've got a rewrite for C3, which Kishimoto shouldn't do. I want to emphasize this. He shouldn't do this for C3. But it works really well for the terrorist theme. So, remember that doll he drops? Instead of that, he makes an airplane and crashes it. And that's C3.
Why would that even be better?
It's terroristy.
I think dropping the doll, which is supposed to resemble literally any atomic bomb type of thing dropping, is more terroristy than the plane. But I can see the association.
It's not, but it's not because terrorists haven't done nukes. Governments have, but not like terrorist organizations. Terrorist organizations have done plane crashes. So it's a pretty famous one. If you don't recall its date.
I definitely recall. Don't worry about that. Oh my god.
So as I said, Kishimoto definitely shouldn't do it.
At this point, instead of his C3 being an explosion, why doesn't he just behead people for his C3?
Well, the idea was going to be the plane would explode when it crashes. It's just shooting down really fast.
Well, yeah, maybe. Well, to be fair, he does do this anyways. I was going to say maybe he could explode their necks, but he literally wraps the weird centipede things around the sand shinobi's necks. So, he's already doing that to behead them. Which, by the way, I don't think we ever saw that. We should have seen something like that.
No, actually, okay. I think I've got a... Okay, remember C1? The weird, stupid thing he does at the beginning of the Sasuke fight?
Okay. Yeah.
Instead of that nonsense, C1 should have been literally suicide bombers. So they'd be like clones in a transformation. So basically the exploding humans, that arc with Sasuke.
Yeah,
so he would have like
bombs.
Deidara clones. He does a transformation jutsu, so they look like whoever, and then they blow up. So it's like an infiltration type attack that he would use. And obviously we'd scale down the explosion. So they're not going to be like, not even the level of the one he does at the end of Kazekage Rescue arc. Something smaller probably, but like, that would be like the tactic.
Okay.
It would be really good and ninja-like, obviously.
So
and it works for Deidara's terrorist explosion theme.
Well, speaking of Madara absorption, something that I heard, I think it was Thunder God say recently, it might have been Sage, I don't remember who, it was one of the power scalers in a live stream. And they didn't like harp on the point or anything. They just said it like getting to something else, but it was just like something to get there. They said that I think they said that Madara absorbed Amaterasu in the manga, at least. Did he do that?
So I vaguely remember what you're talking about. I remember somebody saying it too. I'm gonna double check right now what it looks like.
Because in the anime, obviously the armor just drops off. He just drops the armor off when Sasuke does it.
Yeah,
unless there's a different scene that they're talking about. But I think that's the only time.
No, it's that scene. It's the only time Sasuke uses Amaterasu.
That's what I thought. Okay. And it makes sense if he can do that, not only because Mangekyo shenanigans, but also the fact that what they argue is it's either the light style or the shadow style or the yin yang style that he's using to absorb it, because that's, I think, the same thing as like the truth seeker orbs. So he's doing something like that. In which case he's absorbing Sasuke's chakra, making him even stronger, which is kind of cool as well.
Well, so I'm gonna explain why there's. Actually, I'll share my screen to make this easier.
I mean, I don't doubt it. I think they even pulled the panel up, and I was like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense at the time," but like, never the impression I got. But I mean, I'll take it. It just makes Madara even better.
Well, the problem is it doesn't really make sense if he's doing it because his Rinnegan is gone before this happens.
Oh, so yeah, no, they're not saying it's a Rinnegan thing.
Yes. Yeah, but so real quick, you see all this Amaterasu just on him here, still on him here. He drops the armor, and
okay, it's still
there
there,
just is. This is why they're saying it because there just is this here. So most of it is just even then it looks like there's less here anyway. But like this is on the ground. This is just floating around him. You even see it here. And then it's just gone. So either Kishimoto just wasn't thinking, or Sasuke dissipated it.
Okay, so bro, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah, absorbed it.
Power scalers aren't gonna like this, and it's not one of the possibilities that you presented. That fire isn't on him, it's just floating in air because it's fire.
Yeah.
And that's what fire does.
And then fire heat rises. It could have risen. The problem is you just don't see it ever again. So it's like kind of hard to tell. But
like I'm
because
totally
it is
on board
literally
for absorbing it.
Floating, it could just rise.
Yeah, but I mean, just going to the anime for this one, it doesn't seem like that's what he's doing. Like, the fact that Jigen absorbed it so obviously, that shows us what it looks like when a villain absorbs Amaterasu.
Well, we've also seen Madara absorb Jutsu. It doesn't look like this. And the only way Madara has ever shown to absorb Jutsu is the Rinnegan that he has at Edo Tensei. He doesn't do it when he's alive before or after. He's never done it in any other potential scene. So the question is, how would Madara do this? Because unlike the rods, which just are a yin-yang release technique that you don't need a Rinnegan for, that's a misconception. They're not Rinnegan jutsu necessarily. The absorption just is, I mean, there's other ways of absorbing things, but like Madara's is the Rinnegan. He doesn't have jutsu absorption in any way. And frankly, there is no non-Rinnegan jutsu absorption in Naruto that I can think of. Outside, oh, I guess there kind of is. There's Kisame's super shark bomb jutsu. But
well, I'm telling you, what they're using is like shadow style or light style or something like that. I forget exactly what they said, but that's what other people say that he used to absorb it.
But that's, I mean, I'd have to hear their argument because unlike the rods, though the rods, I can blatantly prove why I say what I say. It's not a Rinnegan technique. That I mean, simple proof right here. Obito does it without a Rinnegan. Madara does it without a Rinnegan. Obito never even had the Rinnegan when he did it versus Gonan. There's a simple proof right there, but I can go into more detail. I would like to hear their argument on that. But if you can find the video, or
I'm not going to be able to find the video. It's a live stream. I don't know how long ago I watched it, and it's 90% likely members only, if not deleted entirely.
Okay.
I'm not member.
We'll have to ask Sage or Thunder God if you think it's one of those two.
It's probably one of those two. Would have been nice if they could have been here tonight, but oh well. Now, what I will say This doesn't not make sense. I know that's a double negative, but so it makes sense for Madara to drop his armor if he's just gonna absorb it anyways, because I do think it would be in Madara's character to do that regardless.
Well, the main reason is also like he's trying to show Hashirama like what
That
he's
as well.
hiding.
But like, it's so obviously based on the paneling manga drawing from Kishimoto that he's trying to show he got rid of the armor because of Amaterasu. In the same
I know,
way,
especially the anime. Like that's what
exactly.
he's doing.
Exactly. Like, again, I think it makes sense for Madara's character for him to drop the armor. Not even just to show Hashirama the thing, he can be doing that as well, but just in general for him to drop the armor here as well. But I don't
Yeah,
think that's why he's doing it.
but again, the fact that he's showing Amaterasu on the armor,
Exactly.
it indicates to me that that's the main utility of taking off the armor to get it. I don't
Especially
know why Kishimoto drew this. I don't
especially
know why he
after showing the Raikage cutting off his arm to get rid of Amaterasu, and the Tin Tails globbing itself off to get rid of Amaterasu, and Sasuke absorbing Amaterasu, and Itachi absorbing Amaterasu, and showing what that looks like.
or Naruto globbing off a Kurama cloak to
But
get
that
off
hasn't happened yet. That's
Amaterasu.
later. But I
I know,
I'll
but
give it to you in
still,
retrospect.
just to set the add on though.
Yeah, that's
It's
valid.
like that this is the solution to Amaterasu if you don't have jutsu absorption.
Exactly. Uh,
But and then again though, I would then ask, so why the fuck is this dude only absorb Amaterasu and nothing else the rest of the series when he doesn't use Rinnegan Jutsu?
to
Like
be fair, I don't think Madara cares most of the time.
he
He's
did
just
as an Edo.
well, I that's not to say he cares just because he absorbs it. He's just doing it whenever, not because he feels like it, but just he just doesn't even feel like it, and he's doing it whenever.
No, but he does it when he needs to.
I mean, you could say that. I feel like that's not even necessarily true.
I mean, there's times where he indicates that like he kind of needed it.
Well, when he's in Edo, he just doesn't need it at all.
But even then though, it's like okay, hypothetically he just does it on whatever random ass whims and whatnot. Well, if he's just doing it, even if he's doing it, even when it's not necessary, just for shits and giggles, then he should probably do this before and after being an Edo Tensei too. Why would he only randomly have that mindset as an Edo Tensei and not before or after? That's
Well,
just weird.
he knows as an Edo Tensei, the whole point of the jutsu is self-sacrifice. That's why he summons the meteor and tells Kabuto it's totally fine. So then why
No,
absorb
no,
that
again,
Rasen
that's
Shuriken?
all the more reason why he wouldn't absorb as an Edo Tensei, not why he would specifically only absorb as an Edo Tensei.
So Madara's perspective on the world is that it's cruel, it's hell, he needs to change it, that's why he wants to do Infinite Tsukiyomi. But until that happens, he's going to embrace this because of duality demand, all that, I've already explained this. The reason he gives to Hashirama in the manga is that, I forget the exact quote, but until that happens, they might as well see this world as entertainment. So you could just consider Madara similar to the Joker here. He does what he does, both good and bad, for entertainment for him, whenever it's entertaining to him to do so. I think that explains a lot of his
This isn't
characterization as
addressing
well.
my point. Like, I agree with what you're saying, but this doesn't address because it should be equally as entertaining to absorb or not absorb, whether he's Edo Tensei or not. Like, if anything, it would be more entertaining to not absorb as Edo Tensei because then he can entertain himself with his regeneration. like,
But we don't know if that's
you know, they
entertaining
just
to him
make
half the
inverse
time.
sense. Like, I feel like you're substantiating my point.
No, but we don't know it's entertaining to Madara until, like, in the present moment. Like, I don't think Madara is thinking ahead or backwards. He's only deciding in the present moment if it's entertaining to him or not.
Again, though, but like, the probability wise, it seems extremely unlikely that it would only in that moment be entertaining as an Edo Tensei and never be entertaining in any other moment in the series. You know, that's just completely unrealistic. And because this is a who knows question in the first place, you want to go with the more likely answer. The more likely answer is he couldn't do it, except for when he's Edo Tensei. Because let's be real, Why is this more entertaining in this moment to absorb these 3 flames instead when he's dropped the rest of the flames? It's just so stupid. That doesn't make sense. It's just like it's the weirdest entertainment I've ever seen.
Listen, that's not the part where I can explain it per se, but I'm not going to say it doesn't make sense. Like, again, why is it entertaining to fight the 5 Kage until all of a sudden it instantaneously isn't?
Well, but we can't answer that question.
Oh, because they did their full power, so I might as well show mine as well. Bro, they were fighting for freaking hours. They almost sealed him. Edo Tensei even broke at one point. The fact that he's using 25 Susanoo clones to obviously overwhelm them.
Like, it's because like he got a buzzkill from the fact that he was about to do the perfect Susanoo, then Edo Tensei broke on him,
yeah,
and he's like,
"Oh, disgusts him." Yeah, he was going to defeat them anyways before that, by the way. Remember when he did the poison against them and Onoki had to will of stone his way out of that? Which it doesn't even work, mind you, because they're poisoned. It's not like being out of the poison is going to make them unpoisoned. But whatever.
Well,
like, isn't the whole point of sorcery?
Well, okay. So actually, I'm going to make this an intro topic for Sage.
Oh, God.
Sorcery can never defeat Onoki.
Okay, put that in put like at the beginning, write Sage and colon in space. Just
I will.
So Control F. Yes. Okay.
Onoki, will of stone counters poison. I'm putting that in spoiler for him.
Okay. I love that. How do you do specific parts of a message spoiler? I can only do the entire message or none of it.
So there's a thing.
Oh, is it like yeah? I think I know you're talking. Yeah, because I was looking at it last night when I was writing the message. It's like the two, not L's, but like yeah, the up or down things. Okay, because whatever I do when I write a spoiler message,
vertical.
Yeah,
and you do 2 before and after the message.
Okay, because I always did like Control S to like get to the spoiler message thing.
I didn't even know that was an option.
Oh, well, do it right now. I'll show you. Might as well.
Control S isn't doing anything.
No, it's a slash S. My bad. Slash S.
Oh,
right. So I don't know why I said control there. To be fair, whenever I say exclamation mark, because like there's like exclamation mark commands usually like on like mod tools or whatever. I always say up. So, instead of exclamation mark, it's always up. Just up. That's it. I don't know why.
Because you don't know any better. Doesn't even make sense.
Well,
but that's the reason.
Sticking with Madara, there was more stuff to say. Oh yeah, okay. If you want to go to Naruto topics. I had definitely other things to say, but we might as well go to
food things in a second here.
Okay, so I could just share my screen if you. Well, I don't need to share my screen. I could just do my own thing. By the way, what's up? I'm not that good. If you want to join,
I see more Hinan and Kakazu too.
Yeah, I want to get to that as well this stream. I'll invite you to the stage if you don't want to join. You just don't have to accept. But yeah.
1 second.
Okay. Space you can if you want. Don't know if we're gonna get to it, but I'll try to, especially if Ace joins. But... Okay. Anyways, so I'm not that good. Whatever you.
What's up?
Yeah, what's up?
What's up?
Did you have a particular topic that you want to do? Also, before then, did you want to introduce yourself?
What's up? I'm not that good.
Oh, you're pretty good.
I was waiting for it.
I do like video editing and stuff on the side, but that's about it. Work on watching YouTube channel soon, doing like OG montages and stuff from old games all mixed together. But I watch y'all's channel every once in a while. I'm not a huge Boruto fan, I'll say that. But
so when you say that, do you mean that you don't like it, or that you haven't seen a lot of it?
I will honestly say that I haven't seen a good amount of it. I did watch Boruto when it came out. I watched like good, I want to say 80 episodes. So and which isn't saying much, right? Because so much of the beginning is like filler.
Yeah.
Or just like, not that good beginning. But I don't want to argue about Boruto because I really can't stand on any argument for it. But I'll argue and say that do y'all do only like feats and characters that you want to do? Or I could argue that the ending of Shippuden is really bad and was never thought out.
Well, we would argue the same thing to an extent.
Okay, for sure.
Well, were you talking about like power scaling specifically, or like any topic?
I mean, we can do any topic. I didn't think about one, but I'm sure I disagree with one of y'all.
Okay.
Oh boy.
We have Immortal in the audience as well. I will invite him. So, okay. Since this is something that me and Tom we've been going back and forth with on at least the previous stream, but I'll say back and forth for a while, the Mangekyo abilities and how they potentially relate to a character. Kamui, do you wanna do a little recap or introduction to this topic or anything?
Well, not really, because like honestly, the real thing we should do is wait like 3 years for me to just get around to making a video on it and then let you say what you think.
So are y'all talking about like, are y'all saying like it doesn't make sense that people have different Mangekyo abilities?
No, okay,
so it's more about that. This is mostly pertaining, like some of them it's kind of like whatever, but like in particular, like Madara's Limbo, Obito's Kamui, even Kakashi's Kamui, Itachi's Tsukuyomi and whatnot. They just have aspects of the abilities themselves that are representative of their characters in some way. And Oodie just hates that. I think it's cool, and that's kind of like just
No, that's not fair. That's not fair to say that I hate it. So to me, it's the same as, I don't know if you're watching the stream the other night, probably not, late at night, but at the end of the Attack on Titan stream we recently did, we were reacting to some Attack on Titan shorts, and people were making the craziest out there reaches that are obviously not the author's intent, such as, I don't want to necessarily give any spoilers, but Attack on Titan spoilers. Have you seen Attack on Titan, all of it? Maybe if you have.
I stopped because I really disliked the animation.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair.
What?
So, but I do know you can talk about it. I know the ending. I've been spoiled already, so it's okay to talk about.
Okay, that works as well. Okay, so there was 2 different reaches. One that there was a fish who got its head cut off in episode 1, and they're saying that's foreshadowing for when it happens in the finale. And I won't clarify who, just in case you don't know. But a character gets beheaded. Like, oh yeah, the fish. Yeah, that's clearly what the author was going for. And then the other one, which in my opinion is just as much of a reach, but like the 9 Titans that are like unique in Attack on Titan, they're supposed to be the representation of Ymir, like the female Titan. It's
just the ones that they hit.
It's the expression of her adaptability.
So do y'all think us as viewers are also like, do you think we also do that with things that we may think authors are intentional? Like people say that Sakura outscales Kaguya because she dodges one attack once.
Yeah, I think that's mostly the power scaling community that just goes with the ratty arguments for the sake of their agendas. But besides that, and they could genuinely believe it, and they can use like whatever logical like pixel scaling or whatever things based in logic rather than series to actually prove their point. But then I think that's just Kishimoto not considering that, which gets back to the main problem in the first place. So I will admit, I do think of all the stretches and all the reaches and all of anime, I think the Mangekyo ones relating back to the characters have more merit than the other ones, to the point that I almost want to say it's almost 50-50, but I still think that Kishimoto just wasn't thinking about it in terms of this. At least not the way that I've heard other people say the Mangekyo abilities relating back to the character. For example, Kamui is Obito's way of making another world because this world is fake and an illusion.
See, that's not even my argument.
But
Yeah,
it's just what I've heard
I
from other
agree with
people.
you. Yeah, I think these are reaches. I don't think he thought about the Mangekyo at all, actually, in like a deep aspect.
Yeah, it's like one of those comments said on one of those Attack on Titan shorts. It's like the YouTuber's like, "Wow, this is the craziest analysis of all time. What a mastermind!" But then like the author would say, "Yeah, I just thought it was cool." Like I think that's realistically what Kishimoto's
Yeah.
going for.
So-
to be fair though, one, like I joked about it in our messages, but like I feel like you're just expecting some stupid stuff. But
Yeah, we'll get to that.
that aren't just what I'm saying. But also, I'm not even necessarily saying for sure that he did think of them. I'm mostly just saying these comparisons are there. They are cool and they are symbolic.
Yeah, well,
Accidental or
this
not.
is why I'm giving.
I think you can make anything symbolic if you stretch it
Exactly.
far enough and use certain
Exactly.
wording.
Yeah.
I'm not saying they aren't cool. I think I'll say yeah, like Obito's it could make sense, right? He wants to create a new whole world, or you could say that it caused this because he completely got trapped off from the world when he was with Madara underground, right? So like you could always stretch it and make it what you want it to be. It's still cool, but I think it's inauthentic to say for sure the author did this.
For sure. And at the very least, it's nothing that's like directly implied anywhere. It's strictly only found in analysis. It's not like other things that are obviously implied in the series. So it is just.
Well, yeah, but I mean that again. I don't know what videos you're watching, but like
I'm just saying, if it's
I'm
something
concerned,
Kishimoto was going for, he probably would have made it a little bit more clear that's what he was going for, in my opinion, considering that's what he does for other concepts as it is.
Yeah, but like for example, though, this is a little bit separate from analysis and more inspiration, but just as an example, the six paths of pain and the Buddhism mythology stuff.
Yeah.
In series, that doesn't exist. Obviously, it's just if you know, you know.
Yeah.
So like, this is an example.
Well, I feel like that's slightly
category.
different because that's taking inspiration from something rather than trying to make some narrative parallel or whatever.
Yeah, I mean that still goes to like real world. Yeah, it still comes from like a real world narrative.
Yeah, I
So-
see what you're saying, yeah.
So y'all don't like the end of Shippuden?
So okay, this is again why I was doing all this as a long wind up in the first place, is because Kamui is memeing over here saying, I hate the fact that this is no, I don't hate it. I hate the fact that other people say it just is the case when they're making the most general blanket statements that apply to anyone. Anyways, like what I was saying last time, I think all of the analysis people do for the Mangekyo abilities could literally just apply to anyone. Such as Sasuke's Amaterasu, he's walking down a dark path, that's why he has black flames. You could do that to literally any Uchiha, and the analysis works just as well. So I don't think stuff as unspecific as that works as analysis. Again, I don't know what Kamui's analysis is. He says it's not the craziest thing ever.
Well, to be fair, I'm also I've said this before, but like I don't even care to make the Sasuke video because yeah, all you're gonna say is boring stuff like, oh, his rage is fiery rage. Nobody cares. It's not even interesting. I'm gonna make that video,
especially with flame control being, in my opinion, the biggest reach. It's because Sasuke wanted to control things, and he felt he was out of control. It's like get out of here.
That is dumb. That is dumb. That is so dumb.
I mainly just wanted to do the Madara Limbo Obito / Kakashi Kamui.
Yeah. So that's what I was saying last time, is that aspect of it. That's like half of it, the fact that I think all of this general analysis could apply to any of them. But also the other half of this analysis that I didn't say last time, which is why I wrote this down here, because I do think this is different from what I was saying last time, is that Kishimoto could have came up with anything for any character's Mangekyo, and the fans would have still been doing these same reaches to try and beautify it in the exact same way. Obviously, it wouldn't be the exact same analysis because it'd be a different ability, but they would come up with anything to justify this same thing, in my opinion.
Well, it just depends on what they're. This is my perspective on it. If I had to guess, they first, at least for me, they probably first noticed it with a character. So let's just say Obito. They're like, huh, this feels like there's something going on there. And because they believe it's there for Obito, they then say, oh, so it should be there for all Mangekyo users. And then as you go down the line, maybe you say, oh, you know what? It works pretty well with Itachi. And then you get to Sasuke and you're like, well, it worked for those two, so surely it must work for Sasuke. So then now you're just like pulling whatever you can out of a hat so you can keep the trend going, when maybe the trend was meant to only be Obito and that was the end of it. That's entirely possible. Things like that do exist. Can't think of anything perfect off the top of my head, but
I can see that.
Realistically, probably the case, because like I said, I only really have a thing to say mainly about Obito and Madara. Madara's not even a Mangekyo ability, by the way. It's his Rinnegan ability, by the way. So it's like, it doesn't necessarily have to do anything for Sasuke. And the fact that like Shizui, I didn't remember what I thought of, because it was kind of like a boring stretch that's like, if that is true, not that interesting anyway. Sasuke's is like, I don't even want to say a stretch. It's just so duh that I like he's mad. Oh no, fiery rage. Like that's not even an analysis at that point. And because of that, I'm like, I'm not saying it necessarily applies to all Mangekyo abilities. It's really just the abilities I'm talking about. Obito, Madara's not even Mangekyo. So like I said, I don't know what videos you've watched though. I wish you could send me some.
Yeah, well, it's not even necessarily videos. It's just things I've heard in the community for freaking years at this point. But I did write down a couple of examples. Kamui, I'm assuming you've already read these. But so I just made up Mangekyo abilities for specific characters, and then I gave whatever I think the beauty analysis that other people would have come up for. So I wrote down several examples, because I'm not going to lie. This was kind of fun. I'll admit it. But so, like, for example...
This is the one I commented, like, you're expecting this for Madara, I assume, right?
At the very end. That was at the end. So, okay, I'm guessing you didn't read all this then. Okay, this is
I think I did, but I just only commented on that one part.
Yeah, you only commented on the end. But, so, okay. So, if Obito's Mangekyo ability was to stop time, people would say it's because Kishimoto is showing how he never grew up. Or people would say that, oh, he was frozen in time at the moment of Rin's death. Or he never moved on, that's why he's trying to stop time. Or time was taken away from him, so now he's taking it away from everyone. Like, they would say anything like that. Or just come up with anything. If Itachi's Mangekyo created ice, he just had ice style Kekkei Genkai for whatever reason, it had to do with this Mangekyo, then people would say it shows his heart was frozen in its love for Sasuke. Or his cold-hearted nature was a facade the whole time. It's foreshadowing. If Obito...
Then his Kekkei Genkai turns into fire for his warm love for Sasuke.
His heart was on fire.
His hot love.
No, I got one. Itachi's ability is Amaterasu because Itachi is hot.
Yeah.
Because massacring the Uchiha blackened his heart. Because Itachi burned away every connection he's ever had.
That's what people will say about Sasuke's Amaterasu.
Exactly. So another example that I made up, if Obito had Susanoo, I'm just going to say that's a Mangekyo ability for now. If Obito had Susanoo, it doesn't mean it's because he wants to block out the light from the world and shield himself like a mask from being hurt ever again. I wrote doesn't, I think I meant does. But
that would be hard though. That would be sick.
It would be kind of hard, not gonna lie.
That would be kind of hard, no lie.
It would go along with his character, so...
Crazy Susanoo with a huge ass shield.
But again, if hypothetically, because Obito could have so easily just had a Susanoo. I don't know why he doesn't have a Susanoo, if I'm being honest. If he did, people would absolutely say that, and Obito would just be another character with a Susanoo who it makes sense for him to have a Susanoo. I don't think Kishimoto would have been going for this route in particular.
I think the reason he didn't is partly because, like, he wrote initially from Itachi, you have to not just awaken the power of the Mangekyo in both eyes, but like he's specifically setting his own abilities. And the game book says the same thing. Bro just initially had a thing for the Susanoo and didn't want to completely contradict it to the world's end by just letting One Eye Obito do it.
I mean, I'll be honest. Obito would be the last person that should need a Susanoo anyways. It's almost the antithesis to Kamui's intangibility in the first place. It's like a shield that can block any damage. It's the ultimate defense, as
what's the
opposed to
point
just,
of-
it just passes right through you.
What's the Susanoo even doing for him at that point?
Exactly. So,
Obito's fighting stuff doesn't revolve around hitting you hard. It's just putting you in Kamui.
exactly. Which I do think if Obito had Kamui, his Kamui wouldn't have intangibility, which is why I think it's really cool that Kakashi's does, combining the two abilities in the finale when he has dual Mangekyo. But anyway, so the next one, and we don't even have a Sarda's Mangekyo yet, so I think this is even the most fun one to do. If Sarda's Mangekyo is to telekinesis rip things apart, then people will say it's because Sumire and Boruto are splitting her heart in two. And to be fair, Kamui, we have come up with whatever thematically significant Mangekyo ability we think theorized that she could have. We've already done that in the past just for fun. So again, it's not even me saying that this shouldn't be the case or that this isn't the case. I just don't think Kishimoto's going for it, at least not in the same way that other people have said so far. But if anything, if it is true, then I do like it. I do wish it was the case. I just don't think it is based on what other people say. Just like the same thing with the Attack on Titan reaches. I don't think it is the case, but it'd be cool if it was.
If it realistically, it would just be the case for a select few of the characters.
Sure.
Like I said, I mean, it technically can be the case for Sasuke, like I said. It's just there's nothing really to it.
Yeah.
At that point. Shizui is probably the most stretchy to where it's just like, yeah, you could say it, but I don't think Kishimoto was thinking about it just because for the fact that he didn't really think about Shizui's character arc in general.
He's
kind of just a plot device, and because of that, whereas you can put pieces together the way you want, he's not doing Kodomatsu Kami for that purpose. He's doing it from the plot device standpoint, and at that point, the symbolism kind of just fades away entirely because it's not about his narrative; it's about his plot utility. So it's like saying Shizui kind of pointless. And then that's all the people anyways. It's only like 4 people to work with.
I mean, I think it is the case for some of the characters. For example, I think Itachi's the most obvious because it's not even like about
Itachi
his character.
Tsukiyomi specifically, especially.
Yeah, it's not even like about his character. It just is his character. Like that is Itachi's characters.
I mean, they even have like a chapter titled "Living a Nightmare" about Itachi's past. His jutsu is literally the Nightmare Realm. It's like they're really weaving it into it.
Yeah. See, I'm just thinking more of like how he's presented in like this mysterious light. Tsukiyomi just is essentially that. Like in a way,
it also like this whole illusion stuff. Like,
exactly, yeah, the reality.
Once reality is another illusion. It's literally a genjutsu, of course.
Exactly.
He's living a lie, living god. It's very just is his character, like you said.
And then Tsukiyomi's like the ultimate genjutsu, and then what do you have in the finale of Naruto? The infinite Tsukuyomi. Even if it's not technically Tsukuyomi, the fact that it's called that at all.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff there. It's pretty easy. Yeah. Like I said, I really would just say Itachi, Obito / Kakashi, and then Madara's Limbo. Those are the 3 I would go with.
Mm-hmm. But the more fun made
honestly,
up examples.
Sasuke, he just gave him Amaterasu because Itachi had it. That's the real reason Sasuke has Amaterasu, because he gave him that. He went with flame control.
Exactly.
Amaterasu was just too cool of an ability for him to throw away after Itachi.
Yeah, but it's also too cool of an ability to actually use.
No, it is.
Yeah.
I'm about to dip out here in a thing because I gotta go, but I just wanted to ask y'all because I've seen some of y'all's videos, but I want to know your opinion. Do y'all feel like can y'all agree that Kaguya is a cop-out, right? Zetsu's a cop-out. The writing, the end of Naruto is kind of a cop-out for Kishimoto not wanting to keep going and also not knowing how to end it.
So before we answer that, and I
can provide proof
that so when you say cop-out, what you mean by that specifically is what you were saying there at the end, that Kishimoto wanted to end it quickly and he didn't know how to end it.
Yeah, I'll say like he wanted to move on and he had no idea how to end the whole idea of Naruto and what to do with it.
Okay, I fundamentally disagree based on that.
Okay,
I think it'd be more accurate to say that it's incredibly rushed because he wanted to end it.
I'll
needed
say-
to. I've also heard it's not that he wanted to; it's that he was forced to end it.
Yeah, I'll say it wasn't like ended to his desire. I think even he actually doesn't like the ending.
Yeah, oh,
But I mean,
well,
I
when you say
see,
you think
but
that, are you saying that based on like intuition, or is there something that?
I don't have proof for that, but I do.
Okay,
but
okay.
there is an interview where he's talked about Zetsu, and he said he had no plans for Zetsu, had no idea what to do with him until he randomly just thought up the idea of using him for this whole Kaguya thing.
That makes
When
sense.
did he? I want to see that interview.
There's
and
a-
also, I'd be curious
Can we get?
when
I believe
exactly he was thought of that.
So yeah, they asked him about Zetsu, and it's actually before Kaguya even came. So there's somebody in an interview, and they brought Zetsu up, and it's not a video, it's all an article, but
Okay.
he said like, oh, what's up with Zetsu? Like, we don't get to see him. It's pretty mysterious. And he's like, oh, actually, I had no idea what to do with him until recently. I just gave him a really big purpose and stuff. I'll find the link and send it to y'all. So, and then another question before I go, I just want to say real quick. So, do y'all really like Boruto? Like a lot? Like, do you think it's as good as Shippuden?
Well, what do you
good
know?
question.
If you want to wait until March, of which the day would be
18th.
Wait, what? You already know? How do you know?
Are you talking about the chapter release or something else?
Oh, something else.
Okay.
Well, if you want to wait until March, it's one of these days.
I mean, frankly,
You got
all
a-
gotta
you
do
got
is
a
look
lot
at the
scheduled.
playlist.
Yes, I do. Yeah, March 19th. And yeah, actually, no, Kamui's right. March 18th as well. But specifically March 19th, then you will hear our answer to that question in excruciating detail.
All right, bet.
Well-
I'll watch the video. Thank y'all again for having me up here.
Absolutely.
Have a good one.
And we liked it, by the way. Okay. It's just to answer it without him having to wait.
Immortal. Are you feeling immortal? You know, actually, we should ask Immortal about the immortality duo, shouldn't we?
I wonder what Immortal's thoughts are on that.
He must be really thinking.
Anyways, Deja, thanks for the $2 super chat. So they said, did they join too late? And no, they haven't. We've actually only been live for
There's no such thing.
an hour. God, we've been live for an hour. What?
We haven't
Ow.
even said anything.
We haven't even finished the topic. But no, you're not too late.
Oh,
we're
actually-
probably not going to stream for too long tonight.
Well, okay, I don't remember where I saw this, but I just noticed editing and so well, real quick, yeah, Deja, you did not join too late. In fact, there's probably several hours to go. But editing marketing resume says, how come Obito's hair stayed white? So I don't know if it was him who wrote the question. Somewhere, I don't know, my YouTube studio, I don't remember where it was. Somebody was asking about or saying something was a plot hole, which is just Obito's hair is white when the Tentos is extracted, Madara's isn't. So to answer that, do you recall that Obito's hair turned white before he absorbed the Tentos?
Exactly. Thank you.
That's the reason. It was already white.
Yeah. So in my opinion, the way I was going to explain it, which is going in line with yours, is that Obito's hair turned white from stress. Madara's hair turned white from divinity. Or however
Or, you could even argue that while Obito's not trying to use Rene Rebirth, Madara is trying to make him use it. We know that it turned Nagato's hair white. It's also possible that rather than stress, it could be specifically Rene Rebirth, even though he didn't cast it yet, because he was almost casting it. That's also possible. But yeah. Madara's hair turned white because of the Tentos. Obito's just was white.
I always love Naruto is like, no, that wasn't the hand signs for that. It was the hand signs for something else. When he only did like 2 hand signs.
He only did one hand sign.
Exactly.
But to be fair, Nakato only did one hand sign, a distinctly different hand sign from Obito's.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's pretty easy to tell that it's a different jutsu based on that.
It's ridiculous.
Like even Naruto can figure that he doesn't need the Sharingan for that one.
Oh my god.
You know what? That's probably where Naruto's hand seals of whatever stat comes from in the data book.
So, what should we talk about next? Well, actually, I was hoping that we could go back to the previous topic since I left it halfway answered. As much to Kamui's dismay as possible. Don't worry, Kamui, we'll get through it. So more examples of fake Mangekyous that could have been real. So if Sasuke's Mangekyo was gravity manipulation, then people would say it symbolizes the weight of the world on him, or that Sasuke's trying to take everything into himself and do it all on his own. Or that the burden is pressing down on him so heavily he can't even stand it. Or whatever else. I mean, gravity manipulation isn't even that too far off, if we're being honest, from a Meno Tejikara. Like, he could at least use it in a very similar way. He already uses the Chibaku Tensei, which is also essentially gravity manipulation. But
well, no, that's not essentially. That is.
Well, you can, yeah. I would say it's gravity creation, not manipulation. Either way.
But it's, yeah, it's close enough.
Yeah, the next one is and again, Madara doesn't have a Mangekyo ability, except for in the video games, but if Madara's Mangekyo was the ability to rotate any object, like telekinesis, then people would say it represents his world being flipped upside down, which again is something that you could say about literally any Mangekyo user, because that's the whole point. Same with the previous one with Sasuke's weight of the whole world on him idea, and a lot of these other ones, their heart ripping in two with Sarda I mentioned above. Yeah, shielding themselves from the world, you could also say that. Limbo does that, Amaterasu does that, everything frickin' does that. Heart frozen in its love, you could say that for any of the Mangekyo abilities. Like, I didn't even mean to do that in this case. Never grew up, you could also technically do that for some of them, but either way. I say, etc., etc. So that was all of the fake Mangekyo abilities that I came up with. I do say, in addition to that, that it's the same for all Mangekyo abilities, especially Shin. That is just nonsense that doesn't make any sense with me. But
okay, Shin obviously not great.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's a good example of where it's not applying.
And that's where it matters most, because that's, like, I think currently the most recent example of a Mangekyo as well. Plus the fact that Kishimoto obviously wasn't rushed, since it was a bonus 10 chapters he made months later.
Yeah, I mean, he just wasn't doing that.
Yeah.
He definitely wasn't doing it for Shin, because, like what? I mean, what do we telekinesis? I don't really know.
He's using. He's using
okay, he's
like
using Shin
control
clones as tools.
That's not his Mangekyo. And I love the enthusiasm. He's able to control tools. There it is.
He's controlling his Shin clones like tools.
Like tools, yeah.
Same way he does with his Mangekyo.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so obviously that just doesn't make any sense.
Exactly. But again,
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't necessarily have to apply to all of them. It just applies to, at the very least, Itachi, and I would say Madara's Limbo, and Obito's Kamui.
So I know why you're saying Obito's Kamui, because your interpretation of Obito. But, well, then again, I haven't heard your Obito argument.
Because everything you said just isn't my argument.
That's fair, that's fair. I am only using other people's argument. I haven't heard yours yet, so I can't say that at all. The Madara one, I'm assuming that's based on your interpretation of his character.
No, actually, it's things that I really don't think you can disagree with. It's just things he does.
Okay. I mean, yeah, that is something that you said.
It has nothing to do with him wanting to be a savior or anything like that.
Okay, you know going into it that the very first thing I'm going to do before even considering it open-mindedly, whenever I hear it, I'm going to instantly find or want to find anything to disagree. I'm just
I
letting
know.
you know now.
But it just doesn't really make sense to me. It's just like
Just letting you know now.
because if you disagree, it's just like, okay, that what do you? No, he did do that.
Okay.
It's canon. But you can disagree on the comparison or whatever, but everybody's gonna agree that like that's how the jutsu works. That's what he did.
Okay. But yeah, so I basically say some things I was saying earlier is that Kishimoto did it because he thought it looked cool, not that it had to be specifically that ability for this specific character, because of the narrative connection of blah blah. No, he did have it all. He did not have it all that planned out. He draws on a lot of Buddhist concepts anyways and applies it to the story wherever he wants. There's no clear, explicit, obvious narrative pattern behind it, especially obviously with the 6 paths of pain and the Dharmagon, which just is a religious thing. So something I will say is that Boruto technically doesn't count because Kishimoto is obviously not really a thing.
Honestly, I can hardly even call the Dharmagon ship the religion thing. Is your Wi-Fi the problem or is it mine?
So my Wi-Fi went out, I unplugged it, replugged it back in. Don't know if we're still live, but hopefully we